Hello and welcome to Tradie Business School, the podcast where we discuss practical tips and have real conversations that will help your tradie business or general contracting business run more simply, more enjoyably, and far easier. I am here today with the wonderful Michael. We're going to have an amazing conversation. It's going to be around, I can't understand why I'm not growing when I'm taking in all the work that comes to me. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Miranda. I love this topic because it's so common. We're always so busy, working. And then how is it possible that you're not making the revenue and the profit that you thought you were at the end of all the long hours that you're spending and all the long days? And you look at figures and your accountant says, you haven't done that well.
Yeah, it's so true. I just heard a client saying the other day that their old self believed that because they were working long hours, they were always busy and quoted anything that moved almost, and that there was money in their bank account, that must have meant that they were profitable. That must have meant that they were making money. And it wasn't like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common for a lot of people in business to believe that the best way to grow is to get more work, consistently get more work. If I get more work, I do well. And so if I do more quotes, if I win more jobs, if I do more work, how does that not work? Because it's proven many times not to work, but I'm curious, Miranda, how come that doesn't work?
I'm sure you're not the only one that's curious. It's such a good question. It's one of those things where this is really about numbers, not knowing your numbers. And, as you're listening to this, it's more than just numbers about, is there $1 in my account? Am I paying my business? Even if I pay my taxes on time, whatever that looks like in Australia, if it's your BAS, whatever it's like, it's not just about that. It's about knowing what your profits are, your gross profits are. It's about knowing what your margins are. It's knowing what your cost of goods are, of sales, of all sorts of things. All of these numbers and having full transparency on these just gives you that line of sight into whether or not you're making a profit. It is not just about being busy.
Yeah. Busy and time are not on your balance sheet. Busy and time is not on your P&L. And so, a lot of people will say that they're busy, yet how productive is the busy work? So, for example, you might win 2 jobs. One job pays you $100,000 and takes, a week. And another job that you do is $1,000, but also for whatever reason takes you a week and you are really busy. So in terms of those 2 jobs, it's quite easy to sort of understand, well, okay, I can make $100,000 on that job versus $1,000 on the other. However, what if I told you that it only costs you $100 to make the $1,000, but it costs you $105,000 to deliver the $100,000 job? Which one's better, right? So it comes down to those vanity metrics, I think, that we kind of look at in business, that, revenue is a vanity metric. You can have a $3 million business and go broke, right? But profit is actual sanity. So being busy does not necessarily mean profit. In fact, it's probably more likely to mean that you're not making profit because you're probably not very efficient. You probably don't have the pricing in place to afford the team to do those tasks for you so that you can spend your time growing the business. Because again, if you're spending your time doing the work, you're not spending your time growing the business.
And it's, I love that. And adding to what you've said, it's not just knowing what the profit numbers are in terms of a dollar figure. It's taking it that step further and actually knowing it as a percentage, knowing your margin. Profit margin is a percentage. And that's where you really begin to know the profit that you're making and the cost of acquiring and growing your business. It's knowing those things. So, if you don't know how to calculate those things, if you're sitting out there go, what on earth are they talking about? Or I've heard of these things, or I know this, there are so many places that you can go to work out the basic formulas to work out your gross profit, your net profit, your profit margin. These are numbers that are really key for you to begin to understand. That'll be where you begin to get the line of sight and insight into why it is that whilst there may be some money in your bank account and that you're super busy, maybe you're not actually making the profit. It can be a real eye-opener for some. Absolutely. And you can take it a step further to start looking then at, well, which jobs within all of the jobs that I'm taking on, that I'm saying yes to, have the highest profit margin.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we focus on a lot when we're working with clients is their profitability and not revenue ability, which is typically what you're going to, if you look at your bank account, like you log into your bank account app and you say, how much money have I got? Right? That doesn't tell you profit. It doesn't tell you anything. And so you're right that we need to have the tools in place to look at our profit on a regular basis, at least once a week, not when your accountant sends you your profit and loss statement and you might get that once a year, which if that's you, you're not alone. Okay. And don't beat yourself up about that. If you don't understand the numbers, it's also not your fault and you're not alone. Right? It's not your fault that no one's shown you. And maybe that's not your strong suit, and that's okay. You just need to find someone to help sit down with you and explain what those numbers mean, because you've really got to understand that. And looking at your profit and loss every single week is a really good starting point. The other thing that you really should start to do is look at some job management software that helps you to calculate the profitability per job. So you understand the materials and subcontractor costs that you're expending to make that money. So let's say, for example, you do a job, you've been really busy doing it, and you find that you didn't really make much money on it. Then you can work out, okay, what do we need to do next time in order to ensure that we make profit?
It's so true. And I've met so many people that just the numbers are not their thing. Or maybe, if this is you listening, you're technical expert at your thing, the thing that you do, and the numbers side of it is not something that either you're good at, want to, like to do. And it's so common. Yet as business grows, as you go from just doing a job and getting someone to pay you for it to perhaps employing or having staff members, there are other people, you're taking on more jobs, you're beginning to have to start managing the workload. And if you are taking on, you're busy, you're very busy, you may even have a wait list, which is a high quality problem to have. That knowing these numbers is the next step to gaining control over your business. So where you may feel things are getting out of control with time, and even though there's money, you're not sure whether you're making money, you're beginning to feel that maybe you're not. It is so important that you sort of adopt the mindset and appreciate the importance of beginning to learn some of these figures, and even and looking at these numbers. And as Michael so aptly said, it's not just about looking at your profit and loss, because when you're looking at your profit and loss, it's already happened. The numbers that it's recording, they're in the past. The events and the actions that you've taken in your business that are recorded in that profit and loss at the point in time you're looking at it are what we call a lag measure, meaning already happened in the past, and nothing can be done to change that figure. It just is. And by beginning to understand some of your profit margins, your profits, and start diving into and understanding a few more of the nuances of your numbers, puts you in a really powerful position to be able to make different decisions, aware decisions, conscious decisions about the types of clients, or which clients you want to say yes to and no to, because that hasn't yet happened. And then you can watch how the numbers change.
Well, I think that about wraps up today's podcast. And I just want to send an invitation. If you're struggling with your numbers, you're not really sure on the profitability, I really encourage you to sign up to have a go at Tradie Business School, where we actually give you an immediate tool to help you to work that out. But also, if you do have a question, come join our free Facebook group, Off the Tools, where you can come in there and you can ask some questions about what's actually going on, and we'd love to help you there as well. So all the other tradies and general contractors will be there to support you as well. So we'd love to invite you to the group, and I guess we'll see you on the next episode, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah. Thank you. See you soon.
See ya. Bye-bye.